The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, you bought a house with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other, even a friend. Now we're not friends anymore. We broke up. What can you do, if anything? It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Debt can be terrible for families. You feel like you can't put food on the table at the end of the month. Call me now. You have power. Welcome to You Have Real Estate, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. I am your host, Justin Clark. A great show ahead for you today, but first, the opening statement. So I hear this quite a bit. It's Justin, I'm in love, but I don't want to get married. I've been married before. I don't want to do that, but I want to buy a house with my significant other. What happens when you buy a house with someone you love, and then that love kind of dissipates, and you want to sell the house, but they don't want to sell the house? What can you do? Is there anything that you can do? We're going to answer that question and many more by asking real questions. Every weekend here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Kick it off today with someone often accuses of being my little brother, they say. I've known him for, 15 years? Attorney Brandon Stewart. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, good to see you.
How long have I known you?
About 15 years.
15 years. You were driving a beat-up Mustang when I first met you. I met you because I was at a Magic game next to your mother, and she would not stop harassing me until I hired her son.
Yep.
But 15 years later, I'm glad I did.
It birthed this beautiful friendship that we have.
That's right. So anyway, let's talk about it, right?
Sure.
You buy a house. You're not married. Because if you're married, I think it changes things a little bit. But you buy a house with someone that it's your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and then you break up. And one person says, I want to sell that because I don't want it on my credit. And the other person says, it doesn't matter. You bought it. You're stuck with it. I want to stay. What can I do, if anything?
You would do what's called a partition action, where essentially you petition the court to sell the property.
So how does that work? How does it? Do I file a lawsuit? How does this go?
Exactly. You would file a lawsuit, typically with the circuit court of the county where the property is located, essentially stating that you have ownership in this property, the other party has ownership in the property, you can't agree to sell it, so you would like the court to essentially force a sale of that property. Okay, but I've been paying the mortgage all 3 years we've been together. She hasn't paid a penny towards the mortgage. I want to get more out of the sale. How does that work? That's a good point. The court does credit you for things like that, maintenance, upkeep, mortgage payments, for example. They would credit you. They would credit those payments towards you. You just have to do an accounting. Yeah, I'm not looking for a commitment from you, but what is the time frame for something like this normally? Well, it depends. Just like any other lawsuit, it depends on if the parties are fighting each other hard or if they can come to some type of harmonious agreement with one another. If they're agreeing with each other, it could be really quick, maybe 30 to 45 days. If they're fighting, months to a year. But if they could agree with each other, they probably are not in your office to begin with, I would think. But sometimes when you hire an attorney, at that point they realize it's serious and then they drop their guard. All right, so fine. Anyway, so my ex filed a partition action, but I know for a fact that the real estate agent she wants to use, they're buddy-buddy. I know they're going to do get into cahoots together, and I'm going to get taken advantage of in some way. What if we can't choose an agent together? Then the court will typically order one, or you probably have to give a list of real estate agents to the court, and then the court will choose on your behalf. Good. All right, so I like it. At least we have a solution in case you've bought property. And you've always heard this before from probably your parents. When you told them you wanted to buy a house with your boyfriend or girlfriend, your parents were like, no, that's crazy. It does happen a lot more. I think it happens more now even than before, because I think a lot of people are deciding to be in a committed relationship but not get married. So there is a solution to getting you out of this problem. Same issue, though. We bought a house together, but we are married. What's different in that situation? Well, then you're not, you technically still are filing somewhat of a partition action, but you do it through a dissolution of marriage. So you would file a dissolution of marriage, and then there's usually a count for partition in that dissolution. Okay. So, let me put it like this, though. So I'm married, but I'm the one that has paid the mortgage this entire time during our marriage. Am I going to get credit for those payments like in a partition, or is it different in a divorce? So that's a good question. Typically, no, because those payments that you are making are considered marital assets. The whole point in that particular situation is to prove that the money you've been spending on the house is somehow not a marital asset. Not an easy thing to prove in that situation, but there is a way to have that credited towards you if necessary.
Timely question for you. We're getting divorced. We're not getting along at all. We're really kind of at each other's throats, but we're both living in the house. We both refuse to leave the house during the separation as we go through the divorce. Who leaves? How do we decide?
The judge will decide that for you. If both of you are saying you want to stay, or both parties are stating that they want to stay in the house, whoever has the more compelling argument to the judge as to why they would need to stay would usually win.
What's the argument? What is a normal argument for that?
Who's more of the caretaker if there's a minor child involved? Why it would be important for the minor child to stay in the house? And who's going to be primarily taking care of that child? The funds, whether it's affordable to leave the house, whether they have the money to pay for another place to live or not. Things of that nature essentially would be what the judge considers.
So I own a house with my wife. We're going through a divorce. I want to sell the house because, again, we have a mortgage, so it's on my credit. She doesn't want to sell the house. Is a judge always going to force a sale in that situation, or will sometimes a judge allow one party to demand to keep the house?
So family law is a court of equity.
Describe that, please.
Equity meaning what's fair to the parties' particular situations. So in that particular situation, a judge might let one party refinance the property and pay the other party, whatever inequitable split that they might have, whatever their share will be through a refinance. Or judges sometimes let the parties live in the house until the minor child reaches 18, graduates high school and things of that nature. Then at that point, the house has to be sold.
Divorce gets very expensive for people. And I think that a lot of times, though, it gets expensive because they're fighting over really petty things. What are some of the most petty things you've seen a divorcing couple fighting over? Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's fine. Well, obviously one was, who gets the dog. I mean, I don't know if that's petty. I guess that's a real hard, tough decision to make. One thing really petty was, I guess the parties had bought their child like a miniature Tesla.
Oh.
Who was going to get
not a real Tesla?
Not a real Tesla.
Okay.
Who gets the miniature Tesla? That was definitely petty.
Oh, I mean, who's taking that Tesla for oil changes?
Exactly.
I don't
know.
Did the oil change? Did the Tesla need a new battery at that point?
I don't know. That was definitely one of the more petty arguments I've heard.
Wow. Good to see you. Brandon Stewart, any questions about real estate as it relates to partition or family law? I'd be happy to talk to you. 407-205-0400. I'm going to let you go because you have to go get someone out of jail, I heard, right?
Correct.
All right, go do that. Here's what we will do, a very quick break. When we return, Viv's in your neighborhood. I will tell you if you live in Lake County, she's coming to see you. But where in Lake County? As You Have Real Estate continues. Welcome to our house. I mean, you spend more time here than I do, but it is hurricane season. You know our windows are terrible.
Yeah.
When hurricanes roll through, we actually go to your parents' house because we feel safer there because you don't feel the wind vibration. Go feel the windows right now. Hit the windows like that.
Okay.
This is not a window.
No,
that
and
it should
I mean,
ever
there's
be relied
condensation
upon
from just our sprinkler.
but during a storm like that, you
Water's
wonder why you
coming
feel the
through.
vibrations. Even when a summer storm rolls through, we feel the vibrations here. That's why Dan Brigman is here today, Renewal by Anderson. Dan, as a man, I want to feel like I have a safe, protected place for my family. And I don't here. I'm not ready for hurricane season because of the windows that we have. What can I do as a family guy to make sure my family's safe during the storm season?
Well, first thing you have to do is you got to do what, you've got to inspect your windows. You've got to know and learn about what you have. And Justin, what you have is not a hurricane window. That's not going to stop anything from coming in this house. If a shingle or a terracotta tile were to blow off in your next door neighbor's house in a windstorm and hit that, and you're sitting at this table, it is not a good day. All right, it is coming through. So what we have to do is we have to get coastal windows in this house, and we have to get them in as soon as we can.
I totally agree. The financing that you have too is fantastic. You make it super easy for me to afford windows in my house.
Yes, we do. Look, we know that no home improvement project is cheap, right? I mean, most of us just don't carry, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 around in our pocket, right? And so what you have to do is you have to make it affordable for our homeowners. And that's just what we do. Through our easy pay plans, we have multiple different ways that we do business. We have 12 months, no interest, 18 months, 24 24 months. We even have 180-month low interest plans. Some of them as low as 5.9. You can't even buy a house.
You
for
can't.
that low.
Not even close. Do you feel? Thank you, Dan, for coming. By the way, do you feel better?
I do.
Are you going to stop yelling at me?
I mean, Dan's here, so Dan's going to save the day. RBA is always going to save the day.
Renewal by Anderson, QR code on the screen right now. Get your family prepared for hurricane season and storm season. Even if the hurricane doesn't come through, the storm season gets scary here in Florida as well. Do it today. Welcome back to the show. Every weekend, thanks to Renewal by Anderson, Viv goes into your neighborhood. Today she's down in Lake County, where they play a lot of sports at this place, by the way, too. It's Montverde, or if you're not from here, Montverde, like Altamonte Springs as well. Viv's in your neighborhood, Montverde.
If you like your living peaceful, your neighbors friendly, and your mornings filled with, "Hey Bob," from across the street, then Montverde is your kind of place. It's a small suburb of Orlando that backs right up to Lake Apopka, not too far from the city and not too far from the attractions. Montverde's been around since 1865, back when it was an early Indian settlement. The name comes from the Spanish Monteverde, aka Green Mountain, given by some Vermonter who was blown away by the rolling green hills. Yes, despite popular belief, Florida actually has hills. They're not exactly Rocky Mountains, but we'll take the win. This place is also home to Bella Collina, an exclusive gated golf community where the homes and amenities look like they were airlifted straight from Tuscany. It's so pretty that photographers pay to get access just to get that shot. It's become a favorite for brides that want that over-the-top wedding venue and spectacular views. The median household income is about $104,000. The median home value in 2024 was $625,000. Fun fact, Montverde is home to the successful Montverde Academy, a private school that pumps out Olympians, top athletes, and artsy prodigies. Their basketball program, forget about it. Families move here just for that and the top-notch academics. Oh, and if you like wine, Lake Ridge Winery is just 15 minutes away. You can sip some local vino, take in the vineyard views, and pretend you're living your best Napa life without the California price tag. If you'd like more information on Montverde, please call me, Vivian Lehman, at 407-205-0400.
Thank you, Viv. Lake County's really booming. Really, all of Lake County absolutely booming. But I often think about Southwest Volusia County and Volusia County in general as well. Another area that's really booming. The man who knows the most about Volusia County real estate is here, Matt Miller. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me back.
So that Southwest Volusia County area, I call it the D's, DeLand, DeBerry, Deltona. Very much booming, but New Smyrna and Daytona also seems like it's always constantly growing. What are you seeing in the real estate market over in Volusia?
It's a great time to be a buyer.
Yeah.
So we just got one yesterday under contract, $20,000 under asking.
Really?
Sellers paying additional concessions, and that's pretty much the norm.
Yeah.
So a lot of overpriced homes still.
Huge flip in this market from a big-time seller's market for a long time to now. I mean, people are still trying to convince me that it's even, Steven. I believe it to be a buyer's market, but what do you think, really?
I believe 100% a buyer's market.
When you talk about concessions, when you're working with the buyer, what concessions are you telling them to ask for when it comes to negotiating with the seller?
Depending if they're doing a financing deal, we're asking for concessions to help with the rate buy down, which is huge.
Yep.
New construction's competitive now, so you go up against that. They're offering $399 on some new construction.
Is that right?
But seller concessions to do the rate buy down or help pay with closing costs are the biggest things.
I think this is super important for you to know. If you're a buyer right now and you're saying, I'm going to keep renting, I'm signing a lease for another year until these mortgage rates come down, it could be a problem for you, and you can buy down the rate. So you go around looking to buy a house, you can negotiate with the seller to add some cash to it to buy down the rate. So don't sit on the sidelines because of the interest rates. Please don't do that. Let's see what's for sale right now. Symes Street in New Smyrna. What part of New Smyrna is this?
That's right out by 95 off of Sugar Mill Road and Pioneer Trail. It's a subdivision called Coastal Woods. Actually, a subdivision that I know very well because I live there.
Oh, yeah. So you want to be Matt's neighbor.
Yeah. Great place to live, a low HOA fee, and this particular home is a beautiful 3-2 with a water view, and it's ready for its new owner. It's vacant now, so they've moved on to the next stage of their lives, and now's the time to get this sold.
I like it. If you'd like to see the house this weekend, Matt would show it to you. 407-205-0400. And over in Daytona Beach, it's Tuscany Bend Street. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Tuscany Bend Street. It's a up-to-date pool home. Again, low HOA, great location. If you're in Advent Health at all, it's a great commute. It's not far from the Speedway. It's off of LPGA Boulevard, so it's back in a very nice area of town. And it is a beautiful pool home, 4-bedroom. It's been updated, new AC. New fresh paint inside and out, and it's ready for its new owner too. Also a vacant home, so these people need to get these homes sold.
The real estate market has flipped completely upside down over the last really month, 2 months. It's really totally changed. That being said, Matt, it's weird because normally the summer season seems to be a little bit of a hotter season for real estate. Now we've gone into this market that's flipped itself over, going into a little bit of a slower season. What do you expect to see from now through the end of this year?
Well, if we can get a drop in interest rates, I think we're going to see it pick up because there are people sitting on the sideline right now.
Yeah.
Do expect a little bit slower of a season, but you still have people coming to Florida all the time. People that have to come for jobs, people that are getting married, having families, need to change their circumstance. So there's a lot of opportunity still, so there's always going to be buying and selling going on, but it is going to slow down over the fall.
Yeah. Do you think rates are going to drop or what?
I hope they do. So if I had that crystal ball, I don't see them dropping dramatically between now and the end of the year, maybe by summer of next year, but I don't see anything major.
Last week I said that they're not going to drop because you know who doesn't like Trump, and then I got an email saying I shouldn't say that or something like that. So we'll stay away from it. But I don't see rates dropping a lot. I think maybe a little bit, but I don't know.
Not enough for the price. When they do drop and everyone jumps back in, then you've got competitive buyers going against one another, and it's just, now's the time.
I think so too. What do you tell a buyer though? If a buyer's saying, I'm not buying right now because rates are so high, what do you tell that person?
We really try to show them the opportunity that if rates go up, what are you going to do? If rates go down and housing prices go up, you're costing yourself more money by waiting. Yeah. So let's look at your options now and see what we can do for you.
Matt Miller, LPT, good luck. I know we've got some big stuff coming up at LPT end of the year, maybe early next year.
A lot of cool stuff going on.
IPO, I've heard.
Yes, we've got our ticker reserved on NASDAQ, so we're ready.
Great job as always, Matt. Here's what we would, and if you want to see his properties, again, he'll show them to you this weekend. The phone number's on the screen right now. One last quick break. When we return, the market is not so hot for sellers right now. We know that. It's okay. We're not going to collapse, okay? As you have real estate continue. If you own property in the Villages and you want to rent the property, or you have family who's looking to rent property in the Villages, trying to figure out where they want to buy, there's a great website designed just for you. It's villagershomesforrent.com. The person behind all this madness, Judy, is here. Judy, you're changing the game on how rentals are done in the Villages.
Right. So we are purely an owner-managed website, meaning that the owners are handling the affairs themselves. The renters are talking directly to a homeowner who is an expert with their property. The owners are paying me a small fee to advertise on the platform, and we're attracting the renters to the site for them. So it's a good synergy of owner-renter communication.
The Villages is really on fire and a wonderful place to live. For someone who hasn't been there, how would you describe the Villages?
It's promoted heavily as a lifestyles place, and I can't make it better than that, right? So if you're golfers or if you're into sports and clubs and entertainment and music, it's the place to be.
And the website is the place to go. Again, if you own real estate in the Villages, you want to rent it out, it's not going to cost you very much money at all. Or maybe you have family who wants to move to Florida or spend some seasons down here. Villagershomesforrent.com. Judy, thank you so much. Come back and see you soon, please.
We will.
All right.
Thank you.
When it comes to real estate, especially in Florida, the outdoor areas are so important. I'm here at DelaTurf. Ryan Church joins me. When it comes to the outdoor living area, you guys do everything, obviously.
Yes.
What are people looking for, though, to really make their outdoor area so livable?
Well, most of the time when they're buying a house, a lot of times they just don't give them enough room out back.
Yeah.
They'll give this little pad, so we can come in and do, a large paver pad. We could do large turf areas, putting greens. We could do kitchens on top of the pavers. We can do pergolas to cover you. from the sun, all that good stuff.
How does the process work from the time I call you to the time you're installing?
So you call us up, we would send a salesman out to meet with you on site. They can get all of your details at that point as far as what you're looking to do, or even give you ideas if they need to. Then from there, they can quote you, and then the process starts from there, depending on what all you're looking to get done.
I love artificial turf. A lot of people don't even know it's really an option. And when should I consider artificial turf for my house?
Anytime, really. I mean, if you're struggling with maintaining grass, you're struggling with growing grass, you don't want to mow grass, those are great times. You have dogs, all those things are great items for artificial turf.
And it looks beautiful too. I even see people put the artificial grass like on the side walls and things. It looks so cool.
Yep, we've done a little bit of everything. We can even do artificial ivy is another thing we do that we don't talk a lot about. So we can do walls with artificial ivy and everything.
Putting greens, anything for your outdoor area, there's one place to call. That is DelaTurf. Welcome back to the show. And indeed, we are now, I will officially call it a buyer's market. We were in a huge seller's market for a long time, all during COVID, but now buyers have a lot more power. But it makes you think, if you're a seller, okay, how do I price my home? Because 2 years ago, you were asking for whatever you wanted, and people were fighting over your house. Now pricing your home is one of the most important aspects to actually selling your home. Let's ask Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World. Welcome. How are you? Good to see you.
Good.
A seller now, right? 2 years ago, they would fight with their agent. I want to list it higher, higher, higher. And the seller was actually right a lot of times because the market was just skyrocketing. Now as the market is softening, it's difficult to figure out how to price your home. What are you doing? What are you telling sellers when it comes to what price should I put on my house?
So market value is an opinion, just like an appraiser. It's an opinion of value. And with an experienced listing agent, what their opinion of value is, going another 10 to 15% lower, is really a great starting point. And it seems like you're hitting the ground running way lower, but actually, if you don't want to be in the market for 6 months or you don't want to expire, a seller's going to save money that way because they have less expenses. They don't have to pay their mortgage payment for 4, 5, 6 more months.
Right.
So it's a perceived savings. I mean, it's perceived that it looks like you're spending more money, not a savings. In actuality, they're going to save.
What are some of the fears of a seller pricing their house too high, where it's going to stay on the market longer? Does that look bad to buyers?
It does, because it shows that the seller, they take the seller that they're not serious about selling, that they're just kind of like on a whim and, well, if I could get this much, then I'll sell.
Yeah, concessions, a real key word right now. You're hearing about concessions, concessions, concessions. Whereas 2 years ago, there were no concessions really whatsoever. What are some of the concessions that sellers are having to give up now in this market?
Closing costs. I mean, a first-time home buyer, that's the number one concession, the number one thing that is going to hinder them from being able to buy. So if a seller can contribute toward the buyer's closing costs, it's really a win-win, because seller gets to sell, the buyer gets to buy, so everybody's happy.
Yeah, anywhere in northern Florida, by the way, if you're looking to sell your house, you want to figure out what it's worth. You want an honest assessment of what it's worth. Elisha will do that for you. QR code on the screen for her right now. Or if you're looking to buy or invest in real estate, the market is way less expensive in northern Florida. You can buy a great house or even invest in real estate. Same QR code on the screen. And when it comes to concessions, the closing costs, what is really included in that closing cost section of concessions?
So what's included is going to be not their down payment. That's and that's always the misconception, that buyers will think that their down payment can be included in that, but that has to come from them, or maybe a gift depending on their loan. But you've got the cost of their loan, any kind of repairs, anything like that. You put me on the spot.
Well, everyone's also talking though about interest rates are so high, buyers aren't going to buy because interest rates are so high.
Yeah.
But I think that the buyer could even buy the rate down with concessions from the seller, right?
Yeah, they can, depending on the type of loan that they have. They're able to, the seller can contribute towards that. But also, if the seller can't, the buyer can do that part, and then the seller can contribute to all the other parts of their closing costs.
How about the real estate commission? Who's paying that now?
It just depends.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What
It's
are you
all
normally
negotiable.
seeing? Yeah? Everything's negotiable now.
I love it, because before we didn't have these language patterns to use, and now we actually say, like, to a seller, you know what? Let's see what happens if we have a strong offer, full price offer. Would you pay a higher commission? And they say yes.
Keep up the great work. Elisha Lopez, QR code on the screen for her right now. Thank you, Elisha. Thank you to our guest and our awesome crew. You did a great job as always. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.